Natal Mercury in Virgo. In this video, I'm going to be discussing Natal Mercury in Virgo natives, everything you need to know about this placement, how to master this placement, and what you can expect when someone has their Natal Mercury in Virgo. All right, let's discuss. So first things first, Mercury functions well here as Mercury rules Virgo. So what does this mean? This means that Mercury likes being in Virgo. So when you have a planet that likes being in a certain sign, it functions well there, it likes to be there, and it functions at its best level. These people are very smart people and are very logical thinkers. This is one of the benefits, and this is how you see that Mercury functions well here, is because when people have this placement, they tend to be very smart people and very logical thinkers. It's almost impossible to me to find a Mercury in Virgo native that isn't smart and isn't a very logical thinker. It's just how they are because Mercury likes to be in Virgo. Mercury functions very well in Virgo. They love to read, write, and learn. This is also the benefits of Mercury functioning well in Virgo, because these people love to read, write, and learn, right? These are all things that have to do with Mercury, reading, writing, and learning. And this is what these people love because Mercury, again, functions well in Virgo. They're constantly thinking about self-improvement, health-related matters, and matters that involve serving others. Because Virgo has to do with self-improvement, health-related matters, and matters that involve serving others. Mercury tells us what we constantly think about. So when you have this placement, you're constantly thinking about self-improvement, health-related matters, and matters that involve serving others. Mercury and Virgo people, they're worrywarts and they're hard on themselves. This is the downside to having natal Mercury and Virgo, is it makes you a worrywart, and it makes you someone that you're very hard on yourself. You're just constantly criticizing yourself, and you're just constantly worrying about things, because how you think is like you always want things to be perfect, and you always want things to be done the right way. And it can be very draining. It can be very stressful having Mercury and Virgo, having that natural worrywart energy where you're so hard on yourself. They can be very critical and harsh with their speech and words. Virgo has to do with being very critical and harsh. Mercury has to do with our speech, our words, how we think, how we communicate. So when you have this placement, people will say that you're very critical and harsh with how you speak. You criticize people and you just don't even care. Like, you're just harsh with it. Like, you'll tell people the truth, the blunt, honest truth, and criticize people in a very harsh way. These people are natural fixers. It's easy for them to spot errors and make things and people better. All right. So when you have natal Mercury and Virgo, you're a natural fixer. It's easy for you to spot errors and make things and people better. This is a great placement for a surgeon, like someone who's like a surgeon, someone who has to fix things, someone who has to make things better. And also like an editor, someone who has to like read manuscripts and look for mistakes and stuff like that. So that's where it comes from. These people being natural fixers. This is what they're good at. This is similar to having natal Mercury in the 6th house, because Virgo rules the 6th house. So what this means is that if you have this placement, if you have natal Mercury in Virgo, you want to study natal Mercury in the 6th house, because Virgo rules the 6th house. And you will find that that information resonates with you and sounds like you. If you study Mercury in the 6th house, you will find like, wow, that actually does sound a lot like me. Celebrity example, J.K. Rowling. Now, it's very easy to see how J.K. Rowling had her Mercury in Virgo, because look what the woman did. She wrote a book series that went on to be one of the most successful book series of all time. Literally of all time. I don't think there's ever been a more successful book series than Harry Potter. I could be wrong. But the point is that the reason why you can see that this is related to her Mercury in Virgo, because again, Mercury is how we think, speak, communicate, having to do with writing and learning and stuff like that, right? So, and Virgo has to do with being very precise, very specific, learning how to spot errors and learning how to manage details in words. So, and she did that efficiently. She was able to write such a successful book. And that's literally what Mercury and Virgo are both ruled by: writing, being authors, being communicators and speakers, right? So that's everything you need to know about having natal Mercury and Virgo. Thank you for watching.